Side. What will they ban out against this Blaze team this time? And another Nidalee ban. Again, they just haven't been wanting to leave that open. They don't really need it. Goong's really grown as a player. Has been focusing on those pink compositions.
I really think that this is a bit of preparation because they're not going to play Nidalee against Samsung Blue because Dade will wreck them with Yasuo. So they're probably preparing for not either facing or playing Nidalee come the finals this weekend. And so just trying to get some different matchups for practice, I think, here for Goong. Dade, really not much of a Nidalee player himself.
Yep. That is a good point. Yeah, you don't want to pick Nidalee into any of or either of those Samsung teams. And apparently not Faker either anymore. Kassadin being banned out. Ambition also very well-known Kassadin player, an old-time mid laner.
Yeah, so is Goong though, so that's a bit surprising. Goong definitely another Kassadin user here in Korea, but we have seen Ambition on the new Kassadin already, and it has been impressive. So LeBlanc taken out against Goong. Ambition doesn't want to give that up as a first pick, considering that NaJin is on the blue side, in spite of the fact that he already takes it. Will we see the Lulu ban here, or is that something that NaJin is trying to use themselves? And no, it'll be Jax removed. Right. So Shyvana's up, and it will have to be banned. Of course, when we saw Shield versus Blaze in their best of 5 in Champions, Shyvana rocketed to the #1 priority pick over the course of that series as Flame and Save both really wanted to pick that up. And
yeah, that was a competition for Shyvana, and they're going to go ahead and take Lee Sin. Didn't want to leave that open, I guess, despite Lulu still being there, and Kane could have played Lulu, I'm sure, just fine.
And the Kazakhs will be taken early here. I think they... I think the Twitch pick is a little bit better, and that'll be grabbed up with the Nami, and everybody's going to be clapping in the booths now, apparently.
So SKT, they definitely clap. It's a tradition for all of them to clap, except for Pumandu, because that is how they claim they get rid of their nerves.
Interesting.
So Bengi and Piglet are just like clapping like little kids in kindergarten, clapping together in rhythm, and then Pumandu just sits there like silly kids, and he refuses to join in on the clapping, but it looks like Blaze has picked up on the secret of winning global tournaments. If you clap your hands, if you're a winner and you know it, clap your hands. There you go.
I like it. Well, there's the Lulu. I think this is a pretty good standard pickup, and the Lucian. So just a pretty well-rounded composition overall. They don't have to commit to that Lulu in the mid lane quite yet, but I think CJ is likely to save that mid pick for last. They do have a lot of options here. Maybe that Renekton would be somewhat of an interesting pickup, but they may go for the Mundo.
Yeah, people have been shying away from Renekton a little bit more in favor of Mundo. Just want still more of a frontliner than anything, especially with those teleports now in play. And Daydream is going to be playing that Evelynn. After the first set, saw Blaze huddling together, and Daydream was just screaming at the top of his lungs, "Jace is way stronger than I remember!" It's like caught way off guard by that Jace pick in set #1.
And I like the Mundo pick here because if you do get a teleport into the back line with an Evelynn flank, you can open up with Spray and Pray and then have Nami ult to peel for Twitch. So it's a really efficient way to set up the Nami ultimate if that slow from the Eve ultimate hits first. I like that quite a bit, and the Kazakhs may be up for save again. They may be trying their luck with another pick style of composition and just having Kazakhs leap in and get the wild growth.
Yep, have that Leona, then that would be a mid Lulu. And Leona, a pretty good pickup for Kane. And so we'll see if that works out for them. And with Lulu and Lee Sin also, they're going to be able to keep eyes on both Evelynn and Twitch. Whoever shows up first, they'll just be able to target them with their skills, have sights on them despite the stealth kicking in for either of those champions, especially Twitch, of course, who can ambush perhaps mid-fight to try to escape or reposition. And that is going to be the pickup once again, that Kazakhs in top. And ooh, Ambition's Twisted Fate is being highlighted. Ambition has no interest in the pick that Lustboy is picking for him, just his headset.
Yeah, the Twisted Fate could work here. It would provide a little bit more early pressure, and we've seen SK Telecom use that Twitch TF combination multiple times to devastating pick effect in the early game. If you can get that good pickup, I mean, of course, the TF will just pour it on top of you, and then Twitch will suddenly appear out of ambush in order to take you out, and it will be a potentially good way to deal with this Kha'Zix. Could be a top Lee Sin, too. You never know. Is a viable pick right now. But with the Ignite, probably going to be Kha'Zix, just because you would normally take Teleport on top of Lee Sin.
Yep, would make sense. And also, I think that Lee Sin, just a comfort pick for HoJin. Perhaps what he's been really used to playing. And yeah, that's going to be settled in for NaJin. So it will be that top Kha'Zix once again for save. And if this works out, of course, it's a little bit of a message to Samsung too. You know that Kha'Zix is a flex pick for NaJin once again. And it's something to look out for in that Champions Final coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I think that that's the really big message here, is that they're trying to draw some Kha'Zix bans when we hit the Champions Final.
On the other side, on purple side for this master match on day one, it's going to be CJ Entus Blaze in full force with that TF Twitch combo. We also have that Evelyn coming out from Stealth. We have the Mundo Nami for any flank team fights to set things up for Spray and Pray. We'll see who takes the win. Whoever wins this set gets a match win between these two organizations in the first week of playoffs. They meet again on Thursday. It'd be nice to go in with a one-match lead to try to finish it 2-0.
Would indeed.
NaJin coming out with a mixed roster in Masters match. Let's find out as we go into Master match on day one. And all right, another full ward start from Lustboy. Meanwhile, Flex Shield for Kane's Leona.
Yeah, so full ward, I'm curious as to CJ's intentions with this. They are going to want to get the lane swap in to try and shut down save here early. Hopefully they can do it a little bit better than Frost did in the last match. Ambition gets tagged by HoJin. And now they're just warding behind their red buff, of course, pretty standard, and then moving straight down into the enemy jungle to get some of those deep wards in. Now, OQ and Kane already here, and they will be discovered by this. Oh, not discovered.
Oh, yeah,
wow,
still takes that flash. Yeah, doesn't want to get bubbled by Lustboy. And also, wasn't sure if Twisted Fate had come around yet, because HoJin was just dipping in and out from lane. Ambition also hadn't taken a skill yet in mid lane. Just going to get tagged again by HoJin.
Yeah, Ambition, he's just trying to figure out where Lee Sin is going. They're okay with a 4-man invade because they can see the Lee. And we are going to see that pink ward again right here in the brush as they wait. Now, they aren't going to know exactly where this dual lane is, but the recalls will be coming in. And with the duel already there, it is a little bit of a blind bluff to get their AD and carry in or their AD and support in the top lane, but they're going to get it.
Yep. You know, Kane flashing in toward, in between the towers. A little bit of a hint, perhaps. Of course, could have had enough time to port back. So we're going to give it to CJ Blaze for a correct guess on that lane. So, actually, just going to fake themselves out and go down to bottom.
Well, the problem is that if they see now, and they're going to move again.
All right.
Still a bit dicey, because the issue you run into in this situation is that if the duo lane is there and they know you're in the red side jungle, they can swing in with their duo and 4-man you on the red buff. So a bit risky, I will say, from Flame and Daydream, but without the Leona flash, they were probably feeling a little bit safer than normal.
Just fine. So the guess works out for them, or rather, switching back in the middle. Of course, sending the duo back early was the point there, and they'll get to lane in time to keep save out. He already got some CS though, so save a little bit of a better start than last time. And the big question is, will Blaze keep him locked down? Because in a 2v1, Kha'Zix really just doesn't have an answer. Meanwhile, HoJin did not read that correctly, didn't go for the enemy red afterwards. So this is going to be sad. Finds no red for himself. 3-buff control for Daydream and Flame.
Yeah, this is a really good situation too, because it's going to give Flame some extra experience. just based on the jungle follow, so he may be able to survive down at tier 1 if he ports in before this push shows up. We'll see how early he wants to go. This is a little bit of a delayed push here from NaJin. They're not shoving this in as actively as they could be on this wave, and instead they're just trying to deny, but this will give Flame some breathing room if he does want to port, but he's still just going to keep following.
Yep, in fact, Daydream going to port back, and Flame. Ambition gets caught here in mid lane, forced to flash away, doesn't want to take any risks with that extra damage coming in from Lulu long range.
Well, it's really dangerous, though, because you've got a big slow from Lulu and then gap closers in the Kha'Zix damage, so you have to treat that situation very seriously, and I think it's wise to go ahead and put that there, especially when Flame can just go into the middle lane and sap some of that experience as it is. NaJin will go ahead and push in the bottom tower as a response to seeing Mundo in the mid lane. So they thought they were going to deny XP. Now they know they can get some turret damage while denying XP when they see Mundo. Daydream, looking here at the Wolves, is going to see that there's 2 men rather down here on this side. And again, Emperor and Lustboy just content to freeze up in the top lane and deny this Kha'Zix as long as possible. Lustboy's going to recall because they're afraid of a 4-man push on the bottom side.
It's already in the works. No, never mind. It's going to be NaJin and Save actually porting back. And where will they go?
Yeah, you see Mundo going back as well, just in case he needs to be there in time to defend.
Yep, teleport's still up, not used. So both top laners spending a lot of time with their jungle counterparts to just stay safe, get some farm. And we have Emperor still farming up all alone. OQ. But there's a teleport coming in, wants to make sure Lustboy isn't alone, and also just to sap up some of this XP and those last hits.
Yep, so they'll be able to push this out. I love Lustboy's positioning right here. You can see that they got a freeze in the top lane, so they're not too worried. Save is going to be spotted by a pink ward. Ambition approaching level 6 now, and this is a big moment of danger. They haven't actually seen Daydream in a while. They may spot him now.
Yep.
So they know exactly where Kha'Zix is. This is really dangerous for Save, actually.
Ooh, Save is going to run right into Daydream, but Daydream gets a ton of damage on himself. Save jumps forward and gets the execution kill. A 1v1 is not one you want to run into.
Wow, they just pinged Kha'Zix off of that ward there, too. That was really foolish from Daydream to go in on that one. Ambition, they didn't have the plan. I thought Ambition would move in where they could collapse onto Save, but instead, now they're going to get dove in bot lane.
Yeah, dive onto Flame. Flame has to flash away. Kane also barely getting out of tower range, so they can't turn that into a kill. Kane wasn't able to really sustain any more damage from the tower, had to flash out. So flash down once again, so Summoner used for a unsuccessful tower dive, but Save should be pretty happy with that solo kill.
Ambition getting chunked out before he can hit 6-2, so Goong hits 6 first and plays aggressively. So he's trying to deny the port as long as possible right now while Emperor puts damage onto Save. There were some pings on the tower, but Save is just going to go ahead and get all of this XP. This is really not good. That was not well played by CJ Blaze.
Yeah, that was a very questionable entrance by Daydream into his own jungle. Running right into a 1v1, but Goong gets stunned by a gold card. Will not go down, though. Safeguard with that flash coming in to save himself. And we will see both Ambition and Daydream back off. Of course, Ambition not taking that Ignite. Opted for the Ghost.
And Goong really confident there. Didn't even have to use the Wild Growth. So, but Ambition, he's low enough that he's not going to be able to make a play before he goes back right now.
Kane gets spotted by the ward, but no pings yet, and Kane pings that he's going in. He has those Moby Boots coming in, but misses the stun. He still follows up with the shield, and NaJin picks up the kill against Ambition. Ambition had blown his Ghost, but to no avail.
Ambition really should have gone back right there just because he wasn't going to be able to make a play, and this roaming support is a little bit of a threat. However, Emperor still farming up in the top lane, and now Save going head-to-head with him.
Oh, trying to get the kill, but there's the heal coming in from Emperor, but Emperor still almost goes down. No, he barely lives from the red buff ticks and the minions. A Summoner heal used on top of the blessing coming in from Nami. A very scary moment for Emperor. Meanwhile, Save was pretty confident about that one, although he also had to play off of a risk there with Lustboy showing up from the side.
This is very interesting. Of course, Kha'Zix in these 2v1 situations, especially when he has a red buff like this, he actually has a lot of kill pressure. So it's a bit rough for CJ Blaze. They can't really leave Twitch alone, and they've been having a hard time with this Mundo, but after Mundo hits 6, Nami will be able to return to the lane now because there's a lot less of a threat on that dive. They will hand over the blue buff to Ambition, but this is a very intricate situation where they have to be very clear and very sure of their lane assignments just based on what's already happened with Save getting a kill and a red buff in this game.
Yep, Ambition already gets chunked down by Goong on his return to lane. Goong a little bit ahead in terms of the damage items, but we do have the boots for Ambition. Just a little bit more mobility, trying to dodge those glitter lances.
So 2 pink wards now, Emperor and Lustboy both having one, probably because they're trying to make a play onto an invisible Kha'Zix now that he's actually hit 6. Still going to be difficult given the damage reduction. And Goong and Kane right there controlling this side of the map. They know that Save is going to be the priority target, so pink wards down into the lane, and now they're going to try and get some more kills.
Yep, we see both of them moving up. Kane with those mobility boots, charging forward, gets the stun onto Lustboy despite being bubbled, and there is the glitter lance onto Nami. As we see Save leap forward and Kane picks up the kill. Meanwhile, OQ just keeping even with Flame in that lane. And HoJin holding down the mid lane.
Yeah, this is really impressive top lane Kha'Zix play from Save.
Yeah, it's a little bit unnerving. And Kane also just playing the map with this roaming support. Actually trying to come back into that top lane. Emperor in a duel for his life against Save. Save gets the kill and levels up. And that is enough on top of his stealth to keep him safe. But Daydream shows up. Save has to run away. The hate spikes come in. Oh, the ult doesn't get the kill because of the stealth damage reduction. And Save survives, runs away. Looking cool, and Kane charging forward to try to get a kill onto Daydream with HoJin. Gets the Zenith Blade, gets the stun. HoJin charges forward, but here comes Destiny Gate. They pick up the kill. Ambition not able to port in on time. And CJ Blaze getting picked apart. Goong also there for backup.
This is all caused by the fact that Flame really has no pressure right now, and so they're able to freely move this Leona to gank around the map, basically, and that's just incredibly problematic. Also, Lulu has been repeatedly shoving this Twisted Fate in. CJ Blaze has entirely lost control of this game.
Yeah, it's not looking good, and meanwhile, NaJin just looks very smooth in their movements across the map. Save making plays on his own, and HoJin also looking pretty comfortable with this Lee Sin. Now comes for another gank onto Emperor, flashes forward, got sights on him, there's the Sonic Wave. Resonating Strike not going to be enough though, and Save cannot follow through, has taken a lot of damage during that tidal wave, so has to back off. Needs to watch out from Lustboy though. Nice Trinket Ward in the lane brush to keep sight of that Nami as HoJin shows back up because Kane is charging up to this top lane. Save levels up to get some more health back on top of that pot. Kane is here from the back and gets the Solar Flare onto both members and the Zenith Blade all the way through. A double kill in store for NaJin White Shield as Twitch comes out from ambush. Save with another kill and a 7-0 kill score with 4K gold lead for NaJin in this game against CJ.
Well, NaJin has really done a good job of playing this lane swap out, you have to say. Right from the get-go, Kha'Zix did get some early experience. He hit level 2 off the lane and then was able to go jungle very efficiently after that, just because of the slight delay to arriving in lane from Emperor and Lustboy. And then that miscommunication between Daydream and Ambition in the jungle really hurt them.
Deadly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Goong delayed the timing from Ambition's first ultimate as well, just by keeping him at level 5 and pushing him out, going all in early on with the Ignite. It's just really impressive map control from NaJin Shield this game, and there's not really anything you can do. Who stops this Kha'Zix? Flame is trying to build armor so he can go into lane against him, but it's going to be rough. Here we go, Kane coming up again. And yeah, just lands the edge of the Solar Flare. You get the procs off on that as well, and it's just huge amounts of damage from Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, and the Leona passive. And in the meantime, OQ has been growing his farm lead down here because Flame can't kill him. There's just nothing Flame can do.
Yeah, meanwhile, it is a 4-man attempt against Flame, but they're just going to back off because Flame not interested in defending that tower with his life. And so they just go right to that dragon.
Of course, yeah, you've got the pressure already. No need to go in for that kill if it's not there. You can transition. You know you have the vision control over the dragon. There's nothing they can do about it, especially when you see the duo lane up in top like we're witnessing right now. And if you look at the jungle too, top side, they have wards at all the camps, so they know exactly where Evelyn is right now as well. You can see her going ahead by the double golems, putting down some damage. It's really problematic. And I don't really see Blaze getting back into this one without a miracle. This Twisted Fate is really far behind.
Yeah, he's not looking too good. Kane shows up. He's been monumental to all this pressure in this map, and NaJin has been able to play really well now with his teammates helping create that space. He can add to that, and it's just amazing that everyone's really doing their part to get that map pressure, and then they react off of each other. Blue buff not stolen by NaJin. Ambition still picks it up. But
yeah, it must be said that in this game, it was a bit of a high-risk, high-reward situation. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Daydream gets caught, along with Ambition from that Glitter Lance. Tons of damage, but NaJin not going to risk it. They just continue to shove in that mid lane. Took that tier 1 in mid. Now trying to pressure out the remaining members in the lane to go for this tier 2. Emperor far off, pressuring that top lane tower, but Save is going to go up there to defend it.
And look at how they're doing this too. NaJin Shield just goes ahead, invades the enemy jungle so that they can't rotate to defend their tier 1 in the mid lane. And OQ, he's just been doing a good job being a glorified cannon minion this game. Sieging down some towers.
Yep, you gotta do what you gotta do. This is your initiation onto a NaJin team. Just become a cannon minion. Your own personal cannon minion.
He's gonna take all the buffs while they're at it. And anyway, I want to go back.
Oh, a ghost coming in from Ambition. There's a nice tidal wave onto 4 members, but Kane cuts off the initiation with an aggressive Zenith Blade on top of the Wild Growth coming in. Save gets the isolation kill onto Daydream. Cullen coming in for Kane to pick up a kill onto Lustboy, and Save not able to chase down Ambition, but Flame will get locked down, and another kill for NaJin.
Wow, NaJin has been huge this game. As opposed to the pressure he put on in game 1, I think really the veteran shot calling from NaJin is helping him out this time, because Save and Goong have been very active, I think, about calling him into the lanes at the right time and knowing where he needs to be.
Yes.
And that's allowing his mechanics to shine.
Yes, absolutely. Then, of course, roaming around with Kane. Look at Kane here, just diving through as soon as the tidal wave comes in to lock everyone else in place.
Well, it was a great tidal wave, and this was probably the last chance for CJ Blaze right here. Look, they followed up with a beautiful ult as well, but the fact of the matter is Save is just way, way too strong. And Kane with a great disengage also. Ambition tries to flash out. He does get the gold card to prevent his doom, but it's a small consolation when NaJin grabs another one alongside some help from OQ.
Man, a perfect game so far. 10-0 for NaJin's master roster here.
Not only that, but they've got no turrets down as well. So we are really looking at a perfect game unless CJ Blaze can actually get some tower pressure. They're trying to make a pick on to Save, though.
Ooh, this might be their chance to shine. Save goes in to get a kill onto Emperor. He was baited right into that one. Spoke too soon. Save finally gets taken down, and some quiet applause coming out from the CJ section of the fans here. Small consolation. They will get the top tower. It was brought down below half health earlier.
They've got a really long way to go to get back into this one. Goong now just trying to outplay Ambition 1v1. Oh, Ambition dodged the Glitter Lance right there, but he's got 3 on his tail. Not going to be able to catch him.
They were chasing quite aggressively. Of course, have those mobility boots. You have the safeguard. You have the health picks and the whimsy.
And so it's time to get some good wards up here for NaJin White Shield. They need to have that presence in the enemy jungle. We're seeing that go down already. They will find a pink ward. Or not. There we go.
There we go. Kane's going to see that one, and they start getting their wards down. And they've had these wards for the past 10 minutes or so. Very early on in the game, they've been doing this. Ooh, and there's the lens coming in, but Ambition still gets caught. A nice kick backwards from NaJin, and they will pick up the kill. The last auto attack with Pixes to boot will give it to Goong.
Oh, so impressive display here from NaJin. Shows a lot of potential for this guy, I think. Kane.
He's going to get caught, but OQ scares people away with his W. That's enough to get some pressure back into this top lane. And Emperor Despite having had some quiet time to farm, he's still behind Okyu, and Kane jumps in. A nice solar flare to follow up. Keeps that Twitch locked down for a quick kill and lives thanks to the wild growth on top of course, Eclipse. Ambition just barely getting back into the game as that top tier 1 goes down against CJ. Daydream is there, Lustboy is there. Ambition following in, has Destiny Gate, but they don't really have the damage to follow up. Even with those ultimates down from Kane and Goong, it's not really gonna help. Tidal Wave comes in, only catches HoJin. A nice split from NaJin's members as Flame shows up again a step too late. Flame's been a little bit offbeat today.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was good about his more preemptive teleporting, but honestly, what is he supposed to do right now? He needs items in order to deal with the Kazakhs in as much as that is possible. I mean, we're looking at a sub 20-minute brutalizer Tiamat Last Whisper Kazakhs here, who's 4-1-2 and is out farming Flame as well. So really, really tough situation. So I never got to actually talk about the real tipping point in this game, which was that kill on the red buff in the jungle onto Daydream. And that was, while it really worked well for save, that was a very high-risk play because he could have been collapsed on so easily in the enemy jungle like that. So, but it paid off, and they played out that edge perfectly. There's a wild growth.
A save stealths in, wild growth comes in. Tidal Wave is not there, but Goong gets taken out. Kane separated from his teammates, and HoJin and Save now just have to run for their lives. Very good grouping from CJ to deny that isolation damage. HoJin still lives with that Mikhails, and he tries to go in to help get a kill for Okyu, but Okyu has to flash out. Lustboy chasing through Ambition with the gold card. Can he get it? Culling to chase people out, but there's the bubble from Lustboy. Lustboy taking the risk, but gets taken out as Kane still survives. Flash gold card comes in from Ambition. He's got to finish it off with the help of the Wraiths, maybe with the blue card. There we go.
Yeah, risky for Ambition. He didn't have a whole lot of mana left over. Okyu may be able to defend right here. Doesn't have his ultimate to clear out the creep wave. They're going to try and go for the dragon instead, but NaJin needs to make very sure they don't overextend like that again. Ambition using the ultimate very effectively to pick up some runners as everybody left from the fight. We'll grab a dragon, and they are clawing their way back into this game, Chobra.
Yeah, NaJin has, well, especially with that last one, giving things up a little bit. See, there's a good initiation from Save, but in the end, CJ groups up a nice double bubble onto Goong and Kane.
Well, they're in a choke right here against the spray and pray Twitch as well, and nobody is very durable on their team at this point. Lee Sin just not terribly tanky at this juncture, so they have to make sure they get those kills down, and they need to focus on the Twitch too. With that high mobility, Twitch should not be living for very long.
Well, a nice play by Okyu to turn things around at the end to get a constellation kill for himself, but still a good team fight win for CJ Entus.
It's all about that vision now for NaJin. They can do a Baron pretty quickly. It's a little bit early, but they need to start putting down some serious Baron pressure in order to get this game under control. Of course, Flame has the teleport back up now, so he's going to try and split push. You can see all the pink wards going down around the Baron pit.
Yeah, and just a few mistakes, and already that vision control is lost from NaJin.
Well, pick comps are very finicky things, Chobra. You misplay them, they're not very forgiving.
No, they are not. Went from 10-0 just a few minutes ago, now up to 13-5 for CJ. Of course, they're still behind, but as you mentioned, getting their way back in.
They're trying to make a play onto the teleport, but and see if they can get an outer turret here in the bottom lane before CJ Blaze has an opportunity to answer with a cross-map Baron. Here we go, coming into bottom. Pink ward's going down just so they can get some safety on their flanks. They don't want Twitch coming in from the side with an ultimate. And here we go, tanking a little bit of turret. He's got the shield right there, so taking a few pot shots with that finished Trinity Force, be able to heal up off the minion wave anyway.
Emperor is still in top, so it's going to be a 4v5 if a fight opens up. So I think NaJin's pretty comfortable with that. Emperor now moving down, but the tower's already below half health. Bubble did not catch Okyu. Okyu still gets a couple more hits, but Emperor should be able to join up by the time the next wave comes in. So NaJin actually just going to back off. They've gotten 75% or so damage onto that inner tower here in the top lane, and now they move all on out.
Well, they know somebody's going to have to go top in order to deal with this minion wave if CJ Blaze wants this experience, so they could just re-engage on the mid, or basically on the bottom tier 2 once they push out the wave in the mid lane and continue to control the jungle as well. So I like this play. They're playing cautiously. I think they learned their lesson about that jungle fight last time and want to be a little bit more methodical in how they close this game out. So now with the minion wave on top, they don't see anybody up there, so they'll get some free damage on that as well.
Yeah, and TF all the way at the bottom. Destiny Gate not really going to help him just yet. Of course, as that goes, NaJin coming in from behind has to safeguard out. Emperor showing up with ambush. Goon gets bubbled. Emperor tries to open up, but the tower goes down, and Kane Solar Flare misses. Tidal Wave comes in. Destiny Gate just in time as Ambition comes in. Lustboy picks up a kill onto Kane, and Flame now tanking forward. Gold card onto NaJin, and Emperor still alive in the back lines. Ambition gets slowed at the very end, but Goong is just constantly cleavered by Flame. Does escape with that, and a nice double glitter lance, but there's Mikhail's and a flash cleaver onto Goong. They really want to chase him down. Ambition gold card does go off, and they stun Lulu at the very end. Pick him up. Will they go straight to that Baron, or will they just push down that top lane? Looks like some members will remain in top, some members will port back to make sure Save and OQ don't get a free inhibitor turret.
Yeah, they have to watch that situation because the inhib turret can really seal the deal right here. Now, they're not able to get an objective off of this, especially with the low kill timers right now, but they're still pulling back slowly into gold contention right here. And this is just greedy. You know the TF ultimate is up right there. You know they've got all these ults, and they're able just to kite you out. So they shouldn't have used the Solar Flare. They should have just been content with out-rotating CJ Blaze to take the turret down and then backed off immediately, because they can do that all day. The more vision control they have over the jungle, given their composition, CJ Blaze will be very scared to walk through lest they get picked. So as long as they can just pop out of the jungle, take a tower, CJ Blaze will always have to take the longer route around, not through their own jungle. Just do it enough times and you'll win the game.
Yep. So NaJin seems to be greedy about their kill count, although they've still had that lead after taking that tier 2 tower. So just giving more windows of opportunity for CJ Entus as they have closed the gold gap down to 3K at 25 minutes. So you got to also take into account that the longer the time goes, the less gold matters, or gold difference rather. And OQ, NaJin, and Goong all here in the mid lane. Save just trying to rotate around. Save seems to have been spotted. Yeah, by that ward, and Emperor going to open up on him first. Lustboy comes in, leap, and then Flash just wants to get that maximum distance, but there's the gate right on top of him with a gold card. Ambition picks up the kill, and they also zone people out from Baron. Blaze is in a good place.
Well, Save playing far too risky when he doesn't have vision over that side of the jungle. The ward coverage was lacking, and now
Evelyn goes in for that initiation. There's a tidal wave on top of the gold card. Goong still lives. Solar Flare right on top of himself for Kane. OQ still alive in the back, but Flame trying to zone him out as far as possible. And NaJin will have to back out. Whoa, Daydream almost goes down. OQ very confident and aware of what damage he can do. Emperor gets caught by NaJin. NaJin flashes forward, kicks him back in range for OQ, and now there's the Glitter Lance onto Ambition. OQ, Goong, and NaJin turning things around for NaJin. NaJin jumps over the ward, and here we go, chasing down Lustboy with that slow. OQ dashes forward for another burst. Triple kill for the AD carry on NaJin, and they will steal that blue buff to gain some control back, and the dragon.
Yeah, they'll get the dragon as well, and right there, after they got the pick onto space, Ambition is itemized with his Zhonya's Hourglass, so he's not in the best position in order to deal damage right now. So they knew that with this AD carry, who got really far ahead in the early game, that they would have a bit of an edge in these duels afterwards. So OQ just able to clean it up. So let's take a look at this again. So Ambition comes in, gets the pick on to save. Nicely done. Fast forward just a little bit. Lustboy gets a great tidal wave here as we're waiting for it, and the engage will come in. They're able to follow it up, of course, with the gold card after hitting the Evelyn ult initially. Nice kiting just to make sure, and Emperor gets a good ult off as well from the back line. And right now they should have just waited for the dragon. Instead, Emperor mispositions, face checks a brush.
Yeah, got
that
very
was
greedy.
Really poor positioning from Emperor. And then the follow-up too, able to take down Ambition. Ambition didn't actually have time to use his Zhonya's in that fight, interestingly.
No, he did not.
Although, I don't actually think it would have helped him not die right there.
No, he was definitely on top of him.
It may have helped prevent follow-up kills.
Quite possibly, yeah, dragging out that time. OQ was able to just constantly chase through. NaJin has been shining this game, proving why he was picked up by NaJin's sword. And how will they turn things around? A Banshee's Veil for Daydream we see. That is finally the first full item he's completed other than his jungle item.
Yeah, not a good situation for him to be in. So they're back down to about 6K gold, but it's all about that vision. NaJin needs vision control over topside jungle. They have mostly control of the waves due to good wave clear from Lucian and Lulu. Flame!
Oh yeah, Flame gets pressured in by
Wow, that
OQ.
was a good culling.
Yeah, got almost all the hits. And Flame just proving a point from OQ. OQ has grown very well. 4-0-4 with 236, the most CS in the game. Here at 28 minutes. He's got his triple core items. He's got his Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and Trinity Force, and that's going to do work alongside Lulu here to pick up that tier 2 tower. We see pings from CJ onto this tier 1 in mid. You need to watch out for the flank. All 5 members now trying to choke in. Yeah, CJ's going to back off. Some pings around Baron. Are they going to go into the pit to check? Yeah, they do see that pink ward, so they're going to leave it to Lustboy to remove it. And NaJin responds with some counter pressure here in mid.
Yeah, they did manage to regain Baron vision control though, which is crucial. However, they really are getting out-rotated again by NaJin, and as long as NaJin doesn't engage in another foolish fight or get ulted on by Twisted Fate or Nami, they should be in a good position. But if they all recall right now, it's a bit of a danger that CJ Blaze will assert further control over the Baron. Flame's teleport is down for the moment, but should be up another 45 seconds or so.
All right, OQ still just farming up. He does not go back. He wants to stick around. Perhaps get a little bit more gold to finish a full item. And we're going to see 3 people port back for CJ as Ambition goes up to top to clear it out, get some breathing room here in top lane. Save will probably respond to that after taking that white. And NaJin now coming back to take back vision control around Baron. It's just tossing it back and forth between these two teams. Of course, neither one really confident enough to start that Baron. They haven't really had timings on either side.
No, you don't want to start the Baron if you're NaJin with this composition. You just want to bait them into face-checking a brush and then killing them. And then, and only then, should you be thinking about taking that Baron unless you see somebody wildly out of position where you can burn through it with Kazakhs particularly quickly. But still pretty high risk. You don't have a good target for tanking the Baron. Besides using some shields. Goong has to go down to stop the push in the bottom lane because he's the fastest member of the team in case they need him elsewhere on the map with that Whimsy.
Teleport is up now for Flame, so he's going to go back. No, he's actually going to get stopped or distracted, rather, by that Lulu. And teleport in. Yeah, he decides he needs that time to come in. OQ gets stunned, but a nice Mikhail's Crucible right away to save OQ. Lucian still saved at 4-0-4. Kane with the quick trigger.
Yeah, very well set up there. And now those crucial ultimates are down that they need for engages. Of course, Ambition had to burn his flash there as well, so pretty bad position. He's got the Ghost left over if he needs it, but he doesn't have the Distortion enchantment yet. So it's not going to be quite as quick as he might like. Now they're, see, taking out some more pink wards, and NaJin again just reasserting control over the Baron. Yep. They need to get rid of that ward in the back of the pit, though. They don't have a pink inside the pit itself yet.
Yes, NaJin just taking time to go in and actually ward. There is a pink in the pit. Some pings onto that CJ ward. We're going to give it to Hojin to take it out. And CJ just responding with some pressure here in mid, especially with Save up at top. Who are they going to send to take care of Save, though? Looks like it's just Emperor, but Save will back off slightly to make sure he doesn't get flanked by a double or triple member.
Save finally has his last evolution as well, getting that Q. And interesting, so he's going for the Hex Drinker this game instead. A lot of magic damage on CJ overall, if you consider Ambition, Daydream, and Flame all going to be hitting pretty hard at this late stage of the game. And that's why the Aegis has been built as well onto Hojin.
Yep. With a BF Sword to boot on OQ on top of his triple core. So NaJin's still doing pretty well. They've widened the gap back up a little bit. And CJ just doing what they can to continue to fight back. And they've had some successes in that mid-game. As we start nearing that 35-40 minute mark, you know, just past 30, Kane gets vision of the enemy blue.
The real problem here is that if CJ Blaze gets some of these towers down, again, they're only sitting at 1. If they can take down the outer ring, or even the outer ring and an inner, they're going to really swing the gold in a large way back into a reasonable position for them. And considering they do have the superior team fight here, and Mundo is only going to get more terrifying as the game goes on, could be a pretty big key to success. And they see Lulu, they're going to go for the Baron.
All right, CJ starts the Baron. Lulu zipping up the map we see right now. There is the Destiny and the gate into the Baron pit to make sure they can take that Baron as fast as possible. Culling coming in to try to zone people out. There's a tidal wave onto 2 members. Kane just trying to charge in. Lustboy almost dies, flashes into the pit. Solar Flare onto 2 members, and Evelyn still secures the Baron, but for CJ, HoJin needs to get out. Barely alive right now from that poison, but OQ chasing through as Save shows up to eliminate all these members of CJ, and they get team aced for 45 seconds as NaJin just collapses on top of them, funneling them into the back of the Baron pit.
Well, CJ thought they could maybe go in and take that Baron pretty quickly, and Emperor had decent positioning as well, and there wasn't a lot of magic damage coming in to deal with the shred from the Baron, but they use the ultimate early, they use it to get vision and get ambition into the back of the pit, but they're just not able to do enough. Good culling onto the inside, and the problem too is that they scattered afterwards, which just magnified Save's damage. Lustboy now back up, but this is going to be the end of the game.
Yeah, NaJin just going to eliminate Lustboy right away. They're going to finish the game. OQ at 7-0-6. OQ with some brilliant positioning in that last fight too. Barely took any damage as NaJin closes today's match with a 2-1 lead with a mixed roster in the Master match.
I think it really just shows the strength of NaJin's shot calling. They made some mistakes in the mid game, but they also just did a beautiful job of rotating to the tier 2s, taking them out, confusing their opponents with vision, limiting their options in terms of going through their own jungle to defend objectives. And then a risky Baron call from Blaze, which they managed to secure, but not before suffering at the hands of Save's Kha'Zix again.
Yeah, they took way too much damage earlier, and they all funneled in for a great solar flare there too by Kane. You know, Kane and HoJin also opening up a lot of space early on with some nice shot calling. Also from, I'm sure, we had Save and Goong chipping into that. Save again, a very good score. 6-3-3 with that Kha'Zix. OQ with a 7-0-6.
Well, it's again,
brilliant showing.
That first kill did so much for this team because at that point it allowed, it changed the entire pace of this game. With basically they had to keep somebody on Kha'Zix, 2 people on Kha'Zix at all times, which left OQ to free farm and get that big farm advantage in the bottom lane, a big item advantage, and then for him just to move from tier 1 to tier 1 to tier 1 in order to take out the towers, get that big global gold lead, and then snowball it into a win. Impressive, and especially for HoJin, his second game here, shows what this guy can do with some strong shot calling.
Yeah, you know, playing against a team like CJ Entus Blaze, a trademark team in Korean League of Legends, has been around for its entire history. HoJin picks up a win in his second game with a 5-3-12 with a mixed roster. So as you said again, this just shows the shot calling across both teams of NaJin really strong. So let's look at the results again. Sum it up for you guys. Blaze takes that first win for CJ. They started off nice, taking advantage of those subs from NaJin, but Shield pulls through in game 2, and then a mixed master roster picks up the last win. So